time to do the Monster Mash. It's a graveyard
smash. I like that one.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in to Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Greg Tupper alongside Ashley Pickle here with you on this hayride for the next 90 minutes, so we hope you dressed appropriately. A lot to get to in Week 9 of the Texas high school football season. Scores, highlights, analysis, big-name guests. We will have a coach. This is a true story.
Yeah.
A coach from a game that featured 142 points tonight, and also a coach from a game that is still going on as we're speaking right now. That's what we got in store for you over the next 90 minutes, Ashley Pickle.
It's been a weird week, and things just keep getting weirder. Like right when you think that maybe you've hit peak weird, it just keeps getting worse.
And there's a big reason why. It's Week 9. Obviously, we're careening towards the Texas high school football playoffs. Just 3 weeks left in the regular season. But also...
weather.
The war on weather has reached a new kind of theater here. The war on weather has significantly been upgraded. There you go. That's what we're dealing with right now with weather across.
But other than that massive line of red storms, nothing else going on.
Yeah, and so you can see we've had a number of games get moved up to Thursday. A number of games that got played earlier today just to get the games in ahead of the storms. But it has caused for a bit of a scramble week of Texas high school football, both as far as the schedules are concerned. We've been up to date, updating the app on texasfootball.com, etc. But also just as far as the results are concerned, it's been an odd week. Well,
yeah, I mean, you've got to think about, and this is normal, but when you're playing in crazy weather like this, it's either one, your whole routine is thrown off because there were games that kicked off at 2:00 on a Thursday. Like, I mean, I'm talking like crazy kickoff times, or you're playing in wet weather and you have to completely change your scheme. If you're a passing team, that ain't happening tonight. So it's just been kind of some wild results. Speaking of wild results, why don't we go ahead and get to some scores, because we know that's what you're really looking for here, and we'll take a look at what was our top 10 games of the week. Greg Tepper puts this list together and we announce it every Thursday on Texas Football Today, our sister show here of Texas Football Tonight. And we start off with a game that was played today at 2:00?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock kick.
It was our top game of the week, Allen versus Prosper, and really the biggest grandioso Texas high school football performance when Allen squeaks it out 31-30.
Yeah, Allen scores with under 2 minutes to go to take the lead. Prosper misses a would-be game-winning field goal at the end. This is a fantastic ball game, a real chess match here. Allen remains unbeaten on the year. A terrific win for them, and I think real proof positive that they can hang with anybody, and they are a team to beat, arguably, in 6A Division I. Speaking of 6A, the number 2 game, Lake Travis takes down Austin Westlake 31-10. I believe, it snaps a 6-game winning streak for Westlake in this series. But Lake Travis goes to Westlake and wins the Battle of the Lakes.
They, hands down, were just the more physical team tonight. I mean, they went out there. The line was doing incredible work. They sacked Westlake's Reese Wise 10 times.
Wow.
10 sacks. They were incredible. It was interesting, though. Van Hopping, their superstar running back, he was their entire offense, honestly, in the first half. He went down with an injury in the third quarter that left him out on crutches for the rest of the time. So hoping for good things with Van Hopping there. But the Lake Travis offense, honestly, they had it going in the second half and found a way to go through the air, which was very impressive for something they really haven't done all year.
Yeah, Luke McBride stepped up in a big way. Our number 3 game, Bremont gets a 48-22 win over Chilton. That's notable because Chilton had given up 22 points all season, and then Bremont goes and hangs 48 on them. I think they're for real. Tank Scott, their star running back, Sam Kozowski, the quarterback. I think Bremont is legit, and I put this in the Slack, and obviously we're projecting forward here, but now we're starting getting to playoff mode. Bremont is, in my opinion, the clear favorite in Region 2, or Region 3, rather. Although there's another team on this list that we might talk about. But Bremont is the favorite in Region 3. And if they were to see a team like Shiner in the state semifinals,
box office
get your popcorn
stuff.
ready. Buy your tickets right now. Speaking of teams that are used to playing deep in the playoffs, Columbus gets a win tonight over Hitchcock, 26-7. And I think reestablished themselves, the defending state champs. I think this is a real Yeah, we didn't go anywhere type win there for Columbus, 26-7 over Hitchcock.
No, they had some early losses in the beginning part of the year that we were kind of like, whoa, okay, Adam Schobel's gone. Like what do we have left in Columbus? Grayson Rigdon is gone, and now they show that they're still a very even keel type of team, and I think that basically shores up the fact that they're going to be the district champs there out of District 12 3A Division 1, but looking like another wild Region 3 coming out of 3A Division 1.
A game still in progress because this game didn't kick off until 8:45 because of weather out there in Tom Green County. Water Valley and Robert Lee, the winning coach, is going to join us here. Right now it looks like Water Valley is in control of that game, 45-16 there in the third quarter. Speaking of coaches we're going to talk to, Mount Enterprise beats Lovelady 80-62. Not a six-man game. Water Valley Robert Lee is a six-man game. Mount Enterprise Lovelady, not a six-man game. And a game that featured almost 1,200 yards of total offense, an absolute fireworks factory out there in the Piney Woods. But Mount Enterprise remains unbeaten. We're going to be joined by Scott Ponder, head coach of those Mount Enterprise Wildcats, coming up here in a little bit. The longest running rivalry, most played rivalry in Texas high school football, their 122nd edition of El Campo and Bay City goes the way of the Black Cats tonight, 35-17 over El Campo.
Yeah, this is one of those games every single year that you can pencil in and say these are going to be some big old boys just going out there and playing really hardcore physical football. And Bay City now kind of solidifying themselves in what seems to be the second seed of that District 15 4A Division 1. Lavernia, they did take a loss to last week, but this kind of solidifies them right in there in that number 2 seed. So a big win for the Black Cats.
Speaking of big wins, to District 23 6A we go, where Galena Park North Shore gets a win over Humboldt Atascocita tonight, 47-28. I think it was kind of our first real look at North Shore in quite some time. After an early loss, they to South Oak Cliff, they've seemed to have righted the ship. Caleb Maryland has been fantastic. And North Shore looking every bit the part of a team to beat in 6A Division 1 Region 3. Another game that's still in progress. Frisco Lone Star taking on Frisco Wakeland. This was a game that was moved indoors. They're going to play at Kuykendall Stadium, which is the former Memorial Stadium there in Frisco. But they have an indoor facility, so like, why don't we just do that?
Not?
But there was already a game scheduled for the Star. I believe it was Memorial and Liberty. They moved that game up to 4:30. It ran a little bit long, and so Lone Star and Wakeland are playing deep into the night.
Yeah, this one, this was a big one. This one was the one that's probably going to decide that tough District 5 5A Division 1. It looks like if Lone Star can pull this one out, they'll move up to 8-0 on the season. Still with Frisco Reedy left to go in Week 11, so very interested in that one. But Lone Star looking like they're going to get a good win there. And then finally, we round it all out in a game that we were so incredibly excited about because it is a 3A district championship. They're down in the RGV as Raymondville able to pull through 48-21 over Rio Hondo.
Let me tell you something. Will Littleton, the head coach there at Raymondville, may be the 3A coach of the year. What's going on there is remarkable. Raymondville had not been 7-0 as we thunder roars through the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Studios. If we lose connection, it's not our fault. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah, we could lose power.
We could. Raymondville was 7-0 coming into this game. 7-0 for the first time since 1988. Okay, and now they are 8-0 and the clear favorite in their district down there in the Rio Grande Valley.
And this is his first year. That needs to be said. It's his first year. He came over from PSJA Memorial and has just made an immediate impact.
It's a remarkable, remarkable win there as they take down previously unbeaten Rio Hondo. So there it is, our top 10 games of the week. We're going to be talking about those and many others throughout the course of the next 90 minutes. But let's get you queued up for what you can expect over the course of the show. It's a big show on deck, our Friday night focus. What's coming up here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight? The war on weather rages on. We're going to talk about games that got moved, games that got changed, games that got canceled even. It cost us football. I have said for years, we have the technology to destroy weather. We choose not to do it. Let's have the courage as a society. A 6-man showdown of unbeatens. The winner of Robert Lee and Water Valley will join us live here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
If the game ever ends.
If the game ever ends. I believe it's in the fourth quarter now, but that game going on out there in Tom Green County, Robert Lee and Water Valley. A lot to talk about with the head coach of the winning team there. And then finally, undefeated teams clash in the Piney Woods, and boy did they. Mount Enterprise gets a 82-60 win over previously unbeaten
Sounds like
Lovelady.
a basketball score.
We are going to be, Mount Enterprise hit their free throws down the stretch. Really made it count. Mount Enterprise coach Scott Ponder will join us coming up here in just a little bit. It's a fun night here of Texas high school football, week 9, as we get ready for the Texas high school football playoffs. They are coming fast and furious. Coming up here in just a moment, Thursday night action, high school or highlights, scores, and analysis. If you stick with us here, Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, your Friday night after party rolls on.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antonio. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Yo, these Katie's are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can go all pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
Fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
The Friday night party continues. Weather's not stopping us. It didn't stop Texas high school
I
football,
wanna
and it's
be
not stopping us. Don't say it. Nope, it's not stopping us. I dare you. Cut our power, weather. We'll come after you.
Wow, you are taunting God, and that feels like a really bold decision on your part. I'm not saying that, Lord.
Anyway, we're confident here in our technology at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And that being said, how about we head just down the road from the Dave Campbell's mothership and go to a game that happened last night. It is our Baylor Scott & White Health first highlight of the night. It's Hebron versus Lewisville. Hebron would get us started here with Brady Brock hitting Drew Coster right up the middle. And he'll take this one in from 39 yards out to put the Hawks up 7-0 early in the first. Hebron would tack on a field goal later, but Lewisville, right before the end of the first, Trey Williams scrambling and finds Landon Brazil on the diving 6-yard catch. They cut the lead from 9-7. Then, to the second quarter, Brady Brock play action there, takes off and finds Asen McCray wide open with just a flick of the wrist. Hebron extends the lead. Then in the second quarter, it's Tennell Hill looking, and it's like a Mack truck laying that guy down. And the Fighting Farmers cut the lead again 16-14. Then 5:52 left in the first when Trey Williams would again show off that elite scrambling capability, finding Trajan Mueller with the jumping catch. Lewisville takes the lead 24-16 at half. To the third quarter, it's Hebron. Brady Brock throws the dart to Ethan Hellwing, who turns into the Tasmanian Devil, spinning out there and putting on the Jets 62 yards in. 24 seconds left in the third. It's William, and he is going to hit Derek Martin on the screen, and there goes the turbo power in for 70 yards to give Lewisville the lead 30-23. To the fourth quarter we go. It's fourth down, and Brady Brock, with ice in his veins, finds Tyler Hoke on the game-tying touchdown at the end of regulation. Let's go into some overtimes. We're going to go ahead and skip to the second overtime. Hebron, Brady Brock takes the snap, it fakes the handoff, and bustles his way in. Hebron up 43-37. Lewisville then has to answer in double overtime. It is fourth down, and Trey Williams does the unthinkable. Trajan Miller there. We're heading into the third overtime. You have to go for 2-point conversions, and it is Trey Williams who will do it big. Lewisville goes on to win a 3-overtime thriller, 45-43.
To the Austin area we go. Austin Anderson taking on Buda Hayes. This is going to be Cove Derbyshire. He's going to find Jay Fulmer for the touchdown. Anderson would strike first. Then, this time, Buda Hayes is going to get in on the action. This is Evan Steigel. Going to get to the edge and hit the Jets. Get in for the score. Hayes ties it up at 7. Back comes Anderson in a big way. Caleb Crenshaw right up the gut for a 6-yard score. Anderson's up 17-7 at intermission. Then into the third quarter we go. Buda Hayes would have an answer. This time it's going to be Troy Wright finding Miller Johnson for the score. It's a 3-yard catch, cuts the lead to 17-14. But too much from Anderson and too much from Cove Derbyshire. He's going to lower the shoulder and get in for the score. Austin Anderson remains unbeaten in district play, 29-14.
How about we head down to the Houston area? It's Katy Made Creek taking on Katy Cinco Ranch. Made Creek getting us started here when Adriel Gomez would go airborne and hit Chad Nelson in stride on the tunnel screen as he bust up the middle, 57 yards to the house, puts Made Creek up on the board. Then, later in the first, Cinco Ranch on the answer. It's Davis Roop who's looking, makes a man miss, decides to keep it himself, and he's going to go the distance from 21 yards out. Cinco Ranch up 7-6 to the second quarter. Made Creek from 10 with Chad Nelson's going to show off that explosive rushing attack for his second score of the night. Later in the second, back and forth we go. This time 3:35 left. Braden Gonzalez takes it and hits him with another 6. Cinco Ranch cuts the lead 16-15. After a scoreless third quarter, this one would go in, and Braden Gonzalez would go on to win it. Cinco Ranch 23, Made Creek 15.
Stay in the Houston area. C.E. King taking on Kingwood. Timothy Potts airing it out deep to Dylan Mitchell. In stride, 45-yard pitch and catch makes it 7-0 C.E. King. But back comes Kingwood. Watch this one-handed grab there from Cam Richardson. He will scamper in for a 12-yard score. Kingwood cuts the lead to 9-7. But this is going to be a lot of C.E. King and a lot of Deion Sims. Here, getting the handoff in for a 4-yard score. Makes it 16-7. But Kingwood would have a response. Watch this. Tristan Laughlin is going to haul in this pass here on a little bit of a dump-off. He's going to soar into the end zone here, over a defender, in for the score, narrows it to 16-14. But C.E. King would have a response. This time, Jeffrey Randall in from a 4-yard score. C.E. King's up 23-14. Then, watch this. Kingwood will not go away. They're backed up to their 8-yard line, right? This is going to be Tristan Laughlin on the other end of this one. It's a 92-yard touchdown. All gas, no brakes for Tristan Laughlin. Kingwood will not go away. It's 23-21. Still in the second quarter. Kingwood is going to get the pick 6 from Josh Cisneros. Takes it back 30 yards, and Kingwood's up 28-23. But C.E. King would settle in. Timothy Potts looking, buying time, launching deep. Joshua Hayes grabs it in the end zone for a 33-yard score. C.E. King's back on top. Then Deion Sims going to bounce off a couple tacklers, get in for another score. C.E. King reestablishes the lead 37-28. Then more from, we're still in the first half. Antoine Sanders the third in for a 9-yard score. It's 44-28 at the break. Third quarter, C.E. King pours it on here. This is going to be a deep shot to LeJarrette Clark, who gets it, makes everyone miss, in for a 44-yard touchdown on the free play. C.E. King's up 51-28. Then, watch this. Tristan Laughlin had a whale of a ball game. Another 56-yard touchdown catch here. His third of the game. Kingwood cuts the lead to 51-35, but too much from C.E. King and too much from this man. Potts throwing the throwback screen to LeJarrette Clark. He will bounce off tacklers and go 53 yards to ice it. C.E. King wins at 65-35. Let's get reaction.
You guys looked unbelievable out there, scoring 65 points on offense. Talk a little bit about your team performance tonight.
You know, we executed. We had a little bit of mishaps, but we're going to keep getting better every day, you know what I'm saying? We're going to keep surprising everybody. You know, we come out, work harder than everybody else. We lift hard, practice hard, you know what I'm saying? We don't really worry about the competition. We just worry about the game and worry about the next team. We got Deion Sims, Antoine Sanders, Braylon Lane, Ryan Montgomery. You know, we got a full squad. Like, we got a whole lot of weapons. You can't only game plan for one guy. You got to game plan for the whole team.
So C.E. King gets a win over a feisty Kingwood team. There is our Dave Campbell's Rising Game of the Week, and one of the guys on the call of that game was our own Carter Yates, who is standing by in what used to be the score zone and now is the Braylon zone. Hello, Carter. It's good to see you. 65-35. C.E. King pulls away from Kingwood. I had asked you on Thursday about on Texas Football Today. I was interested to get your take on seeing C.E. King up close and personal. What were your overall takeaways from what you saw from the Panthers?
Yeah, Tepper, we were boots on the ground for the Rising Game of the Week, and I'm here to report that C.E. King has the most loaded skill position group I have seen. And I'm talking about Deion Sims, the Rice commit. He scored 2 touchdowns in the first half, and then he chilled for the entire second half, really, because they had a three-headed monster back there with Antoine Sanders and then Orion Montgomery. Go over to the wide receivers. LeGarrette Clark was a stud, and Dylan Mitchell. We talk about him with sometimes speed doesn't translate from huddle to the field. And I saw it there, 4.37 speed, looked like everyone else was running in quicksand. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about this offensive line too. Coach Corey Laxon spent a decade at North Shore coaching the offensive line, strength and conditioning coach. And his offensive line, you'd think they're 6'5", 300 pounds, but they're just a bunch of good football players who know how to block as they run the rock.
And Carter, not to take anything away from the CE King team, because I mean they really are. They look like a gauntlet. They look like a team to beat in 23-6A down there. But Kingwood did not necessarily have every piece to the puzzle with them that night. They were missing 8 different crucial players. How impressed were you still with the performance that Kingwood put on, even being down that many guys?
Yeah, Kingwood coach Cale Melton likened his team to the San Francisco 49ers meme where he's like, here come your 2025 San Francisco 49ers, and everyone's in casts and crutches out there. Kennedy Brown, the #1 rated offensive tackle, was out with a broken foot. Cade Hogg, 10 offers at linebacker, out with an AC joint sprain. Hudson Mock, the center and McNeese State commit, was out. They had about 11 guys out there on the sideline in street clothes, and Humble Kingwood had every excuse, 11 excuses to say we're not going to be able to make this game happen. Instead, the game was 28-23 in the second quarter. And I saw all those guys that were injured working in warm-ups with their team, cheering on their guys. They looked like they wanted to play and getting ready to go out there. That's the culture that got them to go 4 rounds deep last year.
And speaking of which, you did get to see some action in 23-6A. Another game tonight that was obviously critical was the outstanding matchup between North Shore and Atascocita, with North Shore getting the win. We've talked about it around the office about District 23-6A and how it's really blossomed into obviously a district of doom, what they've got. When you take a look, now that you've seen 23-6A kind of up close and personal a couple times this year, your overall takeaways on what they look like heading into the postseason?
I don't want to get out over our skis here, but we are in the media business. We got to set the narrative. Last time we had 2 teams from one district make state championship games and win them was Duncanville and DeSoto in 2023. And I think 23-6A is a contender, the little SEC, as they call it in Class 6A. Humble Summer Creek is going to go Division II, and they could be a favorite to go Division II. I'm looking at South Lake Carroll over there as well. And CE King and North Shore, that game next week is going to feed families. Those teams will both be predicted to go far in the playoffs. So we could be seeing 23-6A having multiple state champions in one district.
It will be a sight to see, no doubt. Well, Carter, thank you for joining us here tonight, and thank you and the rest of the Rising crew for the incredible calls there every single week on the Rising Game of the Week.
Thanks, Carter.
Bye, Carter.
Bye, Carter.
See you later, Carter.
He's slinking out of the studio. His head is hung.
He's like,
really
God,
a
I
sad
hate you
sight.
too.
Other Thursday night games from across the state of Texas. It was a busy Thursday night of action. Let's go back to the score zone and see what we've got cooking there. Euless Trinity got in a real dogfight with Hazlitt Eaton, but survived it 24-23. Another fantastic game. McAllen Memorial and Edinburgh Valley. We're going to have highlights of that game here in just a moment. Amarillo Palo Duro keeps on rolling. 55-25 winners over Plainview. It was Veterans Memorial. Rockport Fulton tapes down Robstown 42-6. Eric Sosa's really got his Pirates rolling. And then Beckville with a win last night over Hawkins.
Yeah, that Euless Trinity win is genuinely a really big win that they were able to squeak that one out. 4-6A is just... It's a tough district because you've got Byron Nelson, you've got Southlake. Those two, I think, undisputedly are the 2 top teams in that district. But after that, it is chaos. Euless Trinity, Keller Central, LD Bell, they're all kind of fighting for those 3rd and 4th place spots. Now, obviously, it's 6A. It depends on enrollment and all that stuff. But that was a really, really big win there for Trinity.
Absolutely. Very big win there in the DFW Metroplex. From the Metroplex to the Rio Grande Valley we go. Let's go to Edinburgh Vela taking on McAllen Memorial in Thursday night action down there in the 956. I really hope that's their area code.
It is.
Oh, thank you very much. Edinburgh Vela taking on McAllen Memorial. Here come those Mustangs of McAllen Memorial out of their big inflatable. First play of the game, Edinburgh Vela. Fumble! It's a fumble! They recover, but the Mustangs are all over them, and they're doing the safety dance. It's 2-0 early on. Then Vela's offense would bounce back. Tyler Ruiz going to find Caden Hoover behind the defense for the touchdown. SaberCats go up 7-2. Two teams are trading touchdowns all evening from this point on. Into the fourth quarter, McAllen Memorial's Kane Coy going to take it into the end zone. It's a 32-yard touchdown, puts his team up 24-21. But Vela would have an answer, and it's Hoover again. Another touchdown from the star sophomore. Vela back on top. 3 minutes to go. Here come the Mustangs again. Braxton Spates into the end zone for 6. McAllen Memorial takes a 31-28 lead. Vela goes down, marches down, lined up for the field goal in the final moments. Doink! 31-28. McAllen Memorial survives against Edinburgh Vela. Doink is right.
That's a big win. I mean, they now moved to 5-0 in district play. They've got, who is it left? McAllen Rowe and La Jolla Palmview. I think those probably round out the 4 playoff teams. But if they can do that, they're going to be district champs for the first time since 2021.
Yeah, McAllen Memorial has looked fantastic, and they are, I think that was a really important win for them at home to defend the home turf to get that win over a very game Edinburgh Vela team. But good action down there in the Rio Grande Valley last night. Okie dokie. I think that's it. Hold on. We are still rolling on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
Rundown.
I was looking at the rundown. This tells us what we're doing next. Coming up here after the break, we've got scores from across the state of Texas, the Super Syntex East Texas, and we will be joined by the head coach of a team that scored 82 points tonight. Don't miss it. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Fueling the Future Award, presented by Dutch Bros, honors exceptional teachers across Texas who go above and beyond to energize and inspire their students every day. These educators exemplify passion, dedication, and a commitment to shaping the leaders of tomorrow. Each month, one deserving teacher is recognized with a commemorative award and a $500 donation courtesy of Dutch Bros to support their academic department and further their impactful work in the classroom. To nominate your teacher, visit texasfootball.com/fuelingthefuture.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road. From up in Amarillo down to San Antone. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like, fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. It's a show about football tonight from the friends at Dave Campbell's. That's how we got the show name. We are rolling through scores and highlights from across the state of Texas, and we are going to go region by region now. We're going to start in the Super Syntex region. Greater Waco. Greater Waco. It's a large swath of the state there in central Texas. And check out some of the big scores that were going on tonight. Corsicana Mildred gets a really important win over Kearns tonight, 31-13 in that wide open Region 2 of 2A Division 1. It was La Vega scoring a gutty 31-27 win over a very game Robinson team. I think that game got played last night. Gatesville gets a 27-7 win over China Spring. Valley Mills, 28-14 winners over Dawson. A really important game that may have been straight up for a playoff spot. Little River Academy all over Troy tonight, 49-7, and it was Lorena scoring a 27-21 win over Waco Connolly.
Yeah, and especially those the Little River Academy kind of district, that one is something that like seeding legitimately matters, because when you start looking into who that they would play, they're going to be paired up against District 12 and by district. So you're looking at like Columbus, Hitchcock, Yoakum. Like that is a murderer's row of teams that you could be going up against in the first round.
Like, let's just put it to you this way. If you finish fourth in that district, you at this point we can probably say pretty confidently you're seeing Columbus in the first round of the playoff.
Not fun.
The defending state champs in Columbus and the district champs this year. So yeah, a really important win for the Swole Bees of Little River Academy taking on district rival Troy.
And that's a really good win for Waco La Vega too. I mean, Robinson is a team that I feel like has gone a little bit under the radar for people this year, but they are fast. And I think, Waco La Vega had injuries the past few weeks. Them finally starting to get healthy looks like Don Hyde's team is getting back to what we saw earlier in the season.
Well, and I'll tell you something about La Vega that I've just come to know over the course of covering, this team for now way too long. This is a program that Don Hyde, he takes after Willie Williams, who he coached underneath for a long time. They are a program that just tick, 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 tick. They get better and better. They want to peak at the right. They are not interested in playing their best football in week 2. They want to be better, and they are doing that thing again where they're getting better every week. They're getting more confident. That's a really nice win over a good Robinson team. Yeah. And they are going to be a problem come playoff time.
There's not many people that can stop their offensive attack. Yeah. They're so fast.
They're very, very fast. They're fast, and then they're versatile. They can beat you in a variety of different ways. And I think that Courtney Parr, their quarterback, is really growing up into the role there. That's some Super Centex scores from across the greater Central Texas area.
How about we head now from Central Texas out east? We take a look at Beast, Texas, if you will. And we've got a massive district win there for the Longview Lobos, 31-7 over Rockwall Heath. Longview Pine Tree able to squeak that one out against Tyler Chapel Hill, 35-28. Pleasant Grove having no problem, 41-7 over a down Gilmer squad. How about Troop, 35-21 over West Ruskin, a big game there. Hooks able to squeak one out, 18-14 over New Boston, and then finally Frankston. Goodness gracious, 45-14 over Price Carlisle. Frankston is legitimately looking like they could run that entire region.
I think Frankston's your favorite in Region 2 of 2A Division 1 right now. The Indians are a wagon right now. They have looked terrific, and that's a good win over a tough Price Carlisle squad. Awfully impressive from Frankston. And yeah, we like last year, you may remember it was Hamilton that won it. It feels like a region without a favorite. Well, I think there is a favorite. I think it's the Frankston Indians. They have looked really, really strong. Longview takes down Rockwall Heath impressively, and to shut down that Rockwall Heath offense. That's the 31 is nice.
Yeah.
But the 7 is what really stands out to me. Very, very impressive there. And you mentioned it. Let's have a conversation about the Troop Tigers. Let's have a conversation about the 9-0 Troop Tigers. And by the way, they have an open date next week. They round out district play, or they round out their regular season on the road at Buffalo in week 11. They're going to be favored in that game. They are staring 10-0 in the face, and they are going to be a real problem, I think, in 3A Division 2. They're in Region 3. Newton has looked very good. You've got some other teams there in Region 3 like Dangerfield that can up and get you. But I think Troop, week in and week out, you can make a real argument, has been the most consistently excellent team in Region 3 of 2A Division or of 3A Division 2. They have been absolutely terrific.
So another game that happened out east was a game that we had circled on our list. It was Lovelady taking on Mount Enterprise. Let's see how this one finished out. My goodness.
2 11-man teams, folks. Those are 11-man teams.
82-60 in what should be a basketball score, and Mount Enterprise able to take the win. And we have head coach Scott Ponder with us now from Mount Enterprise. Coach, 8-0 in our Texas Farm Bureau Insurance coaches hotline here. 8-0. How does that sound?
We're pretty fired up. It was a great win. It was unbelievable night.
Coach, I want to ask you a little bit about this particular, getting ready for this matchup. You guys are welcoming in a team that was also undefeated. A matchup of undefeated teams, both brimming with confidence. What was your message to your guys heading into this game before kickoff?
We just wanted to come out and play well. We had some confidence in our preparation going into the week, and we knew we had a huge challenge with Lovelady. They're extremely well coached, and they got a great program, and we were excited to, be able to line up and go toe-to-toe, and we were happy that, our kids played well, so we were excited about it.
I would say you played well. You guys rang up 717 yards of total offense, and one guy I want to ask you about is Keegan Ash, of course, a former Built for Tough Player of the Week. Tonight, just some quick stats here: 34 carries, 495 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 5 2-point conversions. Other than that, though, pretty ho-hum night for Keegan Ash. You're the guy who gets
just another day at the office for Keegan.
The numbers are impressive, and every week the numbers are impressive. But as the guy who sees him every day in practice, what is it about Keegan Ash that makes him special?
Probably the work ethic. His work ethic. He's the hardest working kid I've ever been around. He's also a guy that's got high character. The way he carries himself and how humble he is changes our entire program.
Coach, you took over this ball club there in 2022, and you went 1-9. Now here you are, 8-0. How proud are you of the way that this program has just bought into what you and the rest of the coaching staff is selling to them?
Oh, we're super excited. We're really proud of the kids and the work they've put in and the buy-in. The support from the community and the administration is unwavering. They've been behind us the whole way. And, we're just excited to, kind of reap the rewards a little bit. And so, we're going to celebrate this one. It's a big win for us. And we're going to rally up and get ready to go Monday. We got the Overton Mustangs on Thursday, and they're super awesome.
Well, I want to ask you about that, Coach, because 8-0 is fun, but 9-0 is even more fun. And you guys
only one thing better than 8-0. That's 9-0.
And you guys got to rally real quick because you're right. You're taking on an Overton team on the road, a team that I would say is better than their record would indicate. How do you reload your guys after a big emotional win like this?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We're going to come to work on Monday. Our guys, every week they come to work. So that's going to be kind of the way our kids do things. So we're excited about it. It'll be a huge challenge to play on a Thursday night. And, sometimes a big win can be just as devastating as a big loss. So we'll have to kind of rally the boys up and be ready to go.
He's Scott Ponder. He's the head coach of the undefeated Mount Enterprise Wildcats. Coach, we so appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the win. Go enjoy this for at least a few more minutes.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Scott Ponder, head coach of the Mount Enterprise Wildcats on the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Hotline. We're all going to look at and marvel at 82 to 60 and be like, wow, what a remarkable game. Guys, Mount Enterprise is doing this every week, guys. That offense and Keegan Ash, every week he's putting up video game numbers.
Here's just a couple of the scores. 64 points, 58 points, 62 points, 52 points, 68 points, 56 points, 82 points. I mean, my goodness gracious.
They came into tonight averaging 56 points a game.
Seems good.
Okay.
You can win games that way.
And that average is going to go up after tonight's performance. And by the way, I don't want to overlook this. A shout out to James Talley from Mount Enterprise for sending me the stats. They also had another running back, Aiden Alsup, who ran for 108 yards and 4 touchdowns himself.
That's a very good night for a normal running back.
Yeah, 100 yards, and he had fewer than a quarter of the yards of what Keegan Ash did. They ran for 651 tonight and 11 touchdowns. Did the Mount Enterprise Wildcats? They're gonna be a problem, folks. They're gonna be absolutely a problem. They are out there in the Pine Curtain. You want to see some Piney Woods scores?
I'm dying to see some.
Take me there.
How about this? Port Arthur Memorial. Let's just stop for a second. Port Arthur Memorial goes to Lufkin and beats them 30-0.
I am officially upgrading Port Arthur Memorial from wagon watch to wagon warning. Okay, Port Arthur Memorial, serious freaking business. Okay, to go on the road to A. Martin Stadium and to skunk Lufkin like that, very impressive.
Yeah, just wild. Joaquin ends up pulling one out there in a big district matchup, 18-12 over the Timpson Bears. San Augustine able to pull out a 21-6 win over Shelbyville, likely probably securing them as the top spot in that district. Then Huntsville able to squeak one out 21-14 over Montgomery Lake Creek in a critical district matchup. Fairfield 51-7 over Diboll. And then how about that? The Rabbits of Atlanta are able to pull it off 14-7 over Tatum. Atlanta and Gladewater next week for the 3A Division I title.
That is straight up for the district title next week, and that's what you love to see. You love to see a Week 11 matchup or Week 10 matchup. They have a district-wide bye or open date in Week 10 or Week 11 rather. you will have a straight up district championship game between Gladewater and Atlanta next week. That will be a ton of fun, especially that the Gladewater defense has been so good, but Atlanta matching them stop for stop in a lot of ways.
Well, and then that Huntsville win over Montgomery Lake Creek is really, really big out of District 8, 5A Division 2, because you kind of have that Montgomery and PNG atop the district, which we'll talk about one of those games here in a little bit. But Huntsville, Lake Creek, New Caney, West Fork, they're all kind of fighting for those next 2 spots there. And so Huntsville being able to get that one done is real big.
It's big doings out there in the Piney Woods, out behind the pine curtain. We're rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. Coming up after the break, we've got some highlights from across the state of Texas. And according to the rundown, we're going to Houston. We're going to DFW. We got maybe Matt Stepp on the line.
I don't like that guy.
Okay, well, some of those things will happen if you stay with us. Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight rolls on.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition? Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Garage Door Doctor to spotlight 10 deserving teen moms across the DFW Metroplex. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Teen Mom Appreciation Award. Think you know a deserving teen mom? Head on over to www.texasfootball.com/teenmom to submit a nomination.
Good evening and welcome to halftime at Eagle Stadium.
The heartbeat of this community is the football program. There's not a guy that sincerely, not a human, that takes Allen Eagle football more seriously than he does. You know, we scrimmaged yesterday, and every single rep of the game, he is living on edge for that rep. And the kids, they see that. It's not just somebody that is around. It is somebody that he is Allen Eagle football. And so when they grow up and they're doing all their training, they're doing all that stuff, they want to make themselves proud. They want to represent themselves well. They want to, of course, represent their family if they're out there. They want to represent the brand of Allen Eagle football, but they are proud to represent Jordy Kaufman. They have that much love and appreciation for him.
That's cool, isn't it? That's awesome.
We're still partying here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight because it's the after party every single Friday night. We are here bringing you highlights, scores, and everything else across the state from 10:30 until we want to stop partying. Maybe there's an after party. Who knows? But let's go ahead and get to some more highlights throughout the Lone Star State. This one, we head down to Houston and take a look at District 23, 6A North Shore, and Atascocita. Atascocita is going to get us started off here when none other than Carde Mack goes 45 yards in for the score. Then North Shore, not wanting to be one-upped. How about this one? He lets it absolutely fly to Jalen Bocard for 61 yards to put the Mustangs up 14-7. Another North Shore score here by Johnson, running for 16 yards in and barely making the score, but he was able to dive his way in there. Atascocita then trying to answer. Very dicey pass as he heaves it up. Can he pull it down? Yes, sir, he can. He makes the jumping catch. It's Brian Manuel who will run it 30 more yards for the score. Then North Shore back again. He's going to throw this one. Down comes Jalen Bocard, and he'll go 50 yards in for the 75-yard total touchdown. North Shore just way too much to handle. They go on to beat Atascocita 47-28.
To District 22-6A we go. Shadow Creek taking on Pearland. Pearland starts the game off with a drive into the end zone. Jamari Champion powers in for the score, puts the Oilers up early. Then Pearland with another score from a similar style. Jamari Champion, his 20th touchdown of the year, makes it 14-0. Then they go to the air. Jake Westmoreland's going to fire to Dominic Teichelman, who's going to take it 32 yards to the house to get in for the score. Shadow Creek also going to dial up long distance. This time, Travis Coleman going deep finds Jalen Adai for the score. Shadow Creek liked that so much that they decided to do it again. It's Coleman again, this time 46 yards to Jalen Adai, but it's not enough. Pearland moves to 9-0, wins District 22-6A, 21-14 over Shadow Creek. To Houston area scores we go. Magnolia gets a win over Tomball tonight, 38-3. Klein Oak wins an absolute wild one over Klein, 61-54. Christian Rhodes went absolutely nuts in that game.
As they say in Klein Oak, Oakham.
Oakham, absolutely. It was Pearland we mentioned with their win over Shadow Creek. How about LaPorte surviving against a feisty Crosby team? It was Iowa Colony downing Fort Bend Marshall tonight, 21-0, to almost certainly lock up second place there in that District 9-5A Division 2. It was Klein Collins all over Klein Kane, 49-10.
That LaPorte Crosby game was a massive one down there in 11-5A Division 1, because now, how does this sound? 8-0 Angleton taking on 7-1 LaPorte next week for that district championship. That is a banger of a game.
That will be tasty. And let me tell you another thing. You know, we mentioned that we had the highlights of Pearland. They're going to finish 10-0. They have an open date, and they play South Houston, who's winless on the year, and they're going to be big favorites in that game. They're going to almost certainly finish 10-0. And when you start taking a look at the way the brackets are going to go, Pearland is going to go the Division 1 route, and I am here to tell you that it's going to be easy for us to look at the same old, the North Shores of the world, right, as the favorites there. If Katy goes Division 1, look at that. Do not sleep on Pearland. This Pearland team, and especially this Pearland defense, they're dangerous. And Jamari Champion, their running back, as long as he is hard charging, they're going to have an opportunity to really make some noise.
They absolutely are. All right, so from one major metro area in the state of Texas, how about we head up I-45 and go from Houston over to DFW, a massive district game going on between Richland and Aledo. Aledo, quarterback Lincoln Tubbs with the handoff there to Caden Winkfield, who will go 44 yards for the Bearcat touchdown. Get used to hearing the words Bearcat touchdown. Tubbs then again on this next one is going to take the snap, look back, and he's going to air this one out. A 51-yard bomb to the wide-open receiver, Caden Finley, to end the first quarter 17-0. On the next one, guess what? Aledo again. You noticing a trend here? This is junior Bain Martin on the 2nd and 20. Hauls that one in. Next, Aledo again. Guys, this was an absolute romping here. Winkfield is going to shake 3 different tackles. I mean, he's making Richland defenders look like ping pong balls out there to make it 38-0 before the 2-minute warning, not to be outdone by Richland getting points at a certain point here. And it's Jay-Sean Gibson who is going to make sure that the Royals get on the scoreboard from his own 35 there to avoid the shutout just before the half. Aledo doesn't let that slide again. Look at the lights, man. We're getting high-level technology going here in Texas high school football, but Aledo won't let that slide. Tubbs again. He's going to throw the 51-yard bomb to Finley for the 8th bajillionth time for the night. They would go on to romp them 72-10.
Yikes. Meanwhile, Cedar Hill and DeSoto, District 11-6A. First half, not much action until the handoff goes to Sarad Baker. Sarad Baker, the touchdown maker, 30 yards in for the score, puts DeSoto up 7-0. Then DeSoto keeps the good vibes going. This time it's going to be Legend Howell, their quarterback, finding his man in for the score. 2-point conversion would make it 14-0. Then second quarter is no different. It's Baker. I told him he's a touchdown maker. If Stroll into the end zone for a score, puts him up 21-0. Second half now, Cedar Hill looking to come back. They make a stand and get their first touchdown of the game. This time the toss is going to go out to Jalen Williams off the right side. Pick up a nice block on the outside, cut it inside, and get in for the score. That will pull this thing to 30-10, but too much from DeSoto and too much from Legend Howell. The quarterback drops a dime to Booby Feaster. Bang across the middle, in for the score. DeSoto wins it 46-9 to continue their surge in District 11-6A. Let's now go, I believe, to the Star.
The Star.
Frisco, where we are pleased to be joined by the Texas High School Football Insider for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, the co-host of Tepp and Stepp and various and sundry other programs on Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
My arch nemesis,
Matt Stepp. Matt Stepp, you had quite a day, my friend. I got you. Do you have me?
Oh, yes, I have you. I'm live, emanating live from the Star here in Frisco, where the Frisco Lone Star Rangers just knocked off Frisco Wakeland 34-13 in a great game. And yeah, I've had a full day of football, and it's been feels like a playoff weekend, and it really isn't. But hey, I'll take it.
Well, you got a couple of matchup. You were probably the only person in the state who got to see two matchups of unbeatens in the same day. We'll take the one you just finished first with Frisco Wakeland, or Frisco Lone Star pulling away from Frisco Wakeland. Lone Star is a team that we've kind of had our eye on, and now improve to 8-0 on the year. What'd you see from Lone Star tonight that has you encouraged about them moving into the playoffs?
You know, a lot of the talk about Lone Star is going to revolve around their defense, their offense, and some of the playmakers. You know, Trey Wright, Carice Hoyt, Davian Gross. But I thought Lone Star's defense, led by free safety Jordan Deck, Chris Knowles, the defensive end, had a really great game, especially in the second half against this explosive Wakeland offense. Pitching a second half shutout, that's what Lone Star is going to have to do if they want to make a run at a state championship. As we know, the offense is going to be there. It's going to come down to, in the playoffs, how well their defense plays. And tonight, in the biggest game of the year, in front of this place wasn't completely full, but it was about 9,000 or 10,000 people in here. In front of a big crowd, they stepped up and made plays when it counted in the second half. Big win for Lone Star, 34-13. Coach Rayburn's squad looks really strong heading into the postseason.
Stepp, want to go back to the matinee matchup that you saw earlier at a District 6A between Prosper and Allen. This feels like the quintessential Texas high school football game. Big old football teams, you know, contenders that we think both could really make some noise in 6A Division 1. Allen able to pull it out. What did you see from them that made you feel even better about this Eagles squad?
You know, that was a heavyweight fight. Those are two, I tweeted out, those are two December football teams that we watched this afternoon there at Prosper. And I think you start with Allen, and I think this is not an Allen team that has a superstar like Kyler Murray or, you know, in the past, their past great teams. This is just a good football team across the board. They have great depth. They rotated in about 20 players on the defensive side of the ball that can all make plays. Offensively, Jeremiah Dowd, the Florida Atlantic commit, spread this ball around. It starts with Caleb the Jet Smith, the Arizona commit, but they've got a lot. He's 2 or 3 different running backs and spread the ball around. This is a really balanced Allen football team that I think is built to win those kind of playoff games late that you need to get through in a rugged 6A Division I. It's not a surprise Allen's got depth, right? They're the largest high school in the country. We know they have depth. They also combine that depth with really solid talent across the board.
And finally, Stepp, I can't let you go without asking you about kind of broadly what you've seen across the state tonight. I know you're a guy who's locked in on one game that you're at, but also paying attention to about 40 others. What caught your eye tonight as far as results across the state?
You know, I think across the state of Texas, what I saw was a big win for Lake Travis tonight over Westlake in the Battle of the Lakes. Very impressive there. I watched a good portion of Longview's win over Rockwall. He's very impressive from the Lobos tonight. And then I was keeping an eye late on the Cisco-Hawley game out there in the Big Country. What a great comeback win for the Cisco Lobos in that game. So there weren't a ton of upsets tonight. Maybe the most surprising result for me was down in the Houston area. You guys may have already talked about it. Magnolia with a dominant win over Tomball really caught my attention tonight. So, it was a great night of football. And then, a huge game that, has results in the Allen Prosper district. Plano West rolls past Princeton this afternoon. That's a huge result because now that result likely puts either Plano or Plano West into the playoffs, which will push Prosper into the Division II bracket, setting up a potential third-round playoff matchup with South Lake Carroll, which, folks, Prosper versus South Lake Carroll in the third round, box office stuff. It would be a huge matchup. It's not a lock yet, but it's looking very likely now. Prosper is going to go into the Division II bracket.
He's Matt Stepp. He's a football junkie. Stepp, we appreciate you hopping on. Congratulations on getting the 2 for today. I know that's a big win for you personally.
That's right. H-Town, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Houston, Stratford, and Cy Falls. Let's get it. 11 a.m.
He's sick. He's sick, folks.
Gee, God, that guy is something.
Let's go to the score zone, check out some other scores from the DFW Metroplex from across DFW. Colleyville Heritage, in a bit of a surprise, knocks off Mansfield Summit tonight, 28-21. It was Prosper Walnut Grove remaining unbeaten on the year, 9-0, with a win over Lovejoy, 29-26. North Forney rolls past Royce. That's a really nice win for North Forney. West Mesquite, in a game that got played at like 2 o'clock on Thursday. They beat previously unbeaten Carrollton Creekview 53-21 to take command of that district. It was Peaster knocking off Ponder tonight 28-8, and South Lake Carroll remains perfect with a 49-0 win over LD Bell.
Yeah, that Prosper Walnut Grove game was the one that kind of caught my eye there. Just a big win. That one ended up getting moved to yesterday, but a really, really big win to stay undefeated, 8-0. Massive game next week against Melissa. I think that might be for the 4-5A Division II crown, but senior Cam Newton had a great game, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, including the game-winning touchdown that he scored with 2:52 left in the game. So, Lovejoy did attempt a 52-yard field goal.
Hell yeah.
To end that game. Crazy. But Walnut Grove looking like a really, really solid team out of a very tough district.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Walnut Grove is going to be a problem with quarterback Hayes Hackney running the show. We are still rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. But first, I want to let you know that if you have seen an outstanding performance that you think should be worthy of the most prestigious award in Texas high school football, the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week, please go to FordPlayerOfTheWeek.com/nominate. Nominate your gridiron hero for excellence on and off the field. If they are the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week, they get a variety of different wonderful prizes, but none richer than getting your name read by Ashley Pickle on the internet. More scores and highlights after the break.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Higginbotham have teamed up to find the most driven team in Texas. This fall, 10 finalists will be highlighted throughout the season, with one student athlete from each team receiving the Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award for their leadership in the classroom, along with $1,000 in tuition assistance. In November, all 10 communities will rally to vote on TexasFootball.com, competing for the title of the most driven team in Texas. The school that rallies the most online votes will receive a $10,000 donation to their school, thanks to the support of Higginbotham. To learn more, visit TexasFootball.com/mostdriventeam.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need, so you can get in, get out, and get back out there, like fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antonio. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, your Friday night after party. It's the show that you don't tell your friends you watch, but you should.
Why would you not tell people?
Well, not your friend.
My friends watch Texas Football Tonight.
Yeah, but I've met your friends. Hi, it's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, scores and highlights from across the state of Texas. We have got scores to the San Antonio area. We go. In the Alamo City, some scores tonight. Smithson Valley got put into a real dogfight with the Unicorns of New Braunfels, but they remain unbeaten due to the Rangers of Smithson Valley 27-14. Tom Moore of Ingram gets a 40-33 win over Marion tonight. It was Lavernia getting a win over Beeville Jones 55-14. Stockdale takes down Karn City tonight 41-31. Keep an eye on Stockdale. Seguin gets a nice win over San Antonio Wagner 42-27. And Wimberley beats Gonzales 38-30. Folks, they can't keep getting away with it.
They do this every week.
They can't keep getting away with it. Wimberley is now 5-3 on the year. Okay, so they've played 8 games. Getting heated. They played 8 games. 7 of them have been decided by 1 score.
1 score.
7 of them. They, believe it or not, even after tonight, a win to move them to 5-3. They have been outscored this year by 2 points. They can't keep getting away with it.
The cardiac Texans, man.
They are going to single-handedly raise the blood pressure of that town.
Yeah.
The Texans are. Okay, here's the thing. Wimberley plays Smithville.
Is your blood pressure okay?
Wimberley plays Smithville next week. God bless Smithville. The Tigers are struggling. They're winless. Okay? Wimberley.
Don't do it.
Don't you dare.
Don't do it. I'll tell you what, one other game that was on that thing that was not a 1-score game. Oh, yeah, it actually was. Ingram Moore and Marion play in District 13, 3A Division 1. Marion faces the Llano Yellow Jackets next week. Ingram Moore faces the Llano Yellow Jackets in week 11. Talk about a backloaded district, because with this win now, if Ingram can take care of business next week and then go play Llano, that will likely be for that district championship.
Well, and you're right. This is another example of one of those districts there in District 13, 3A Division 1, where there's 3 teams at the top in some order, Marion, Llano, and Tom Moore.
Yep.
Now we get this 3-way dance here in the final 3 weeks, which makes this a really fun district. All those teams were 2-0 entering play tonight. Llano got a win over Universal City Randolph, and then you see, of course, Ingram Moore getting the win over Marion. So that sets up a really, really fun finish there, where one of those teams is going to finish 3rd in district.
Yeah, and it's all being decided in the last 3 weeks of the season. All right, let's head from the 2-1-0 out to the big country, if you will, and we head over to the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight score zone, taking a look at some scores across the big country. Stephenville with likely the district championship winning performance there at a 4-4A Division 1 with a 49-7 win over the Badgers of Lampasas. Matt Stepp mentioned this one, and we'll talk about it here in a second, but Cisco squeaking out a 29-26 win over Hawley is big time stuff out there in the big country. Windthorst rolling 52-14 over Haskell. How about that? Hamilton, the Bulldogs, they're doing that thing again where they're a really good football team. They beat Bangs, the Dragons, 47-20. Then Clyde able to get a massive win. I'm going to talk about that one in a second. 27-20 over Sweetwater. That's big time. And then Albany having no problem there with Cross Plains, 42-0. Okay, coming into this game, Sweetwater was 3-4 on the season, and Clyde was 6-1. And I'm going to call my own foul here because I expected this game to go the other way. Because you take a look at Sweetwater's record, and when they came in being 3-4, it was like, okay, yes, that's technically a losing record, but their losses were to number 4 in 4A Division 2 in Midland Greenwood, a 5-2 4A Division 2 team in Seminole, a 6-2 team in Lubbock Estacado that is also 4A Division 2, and then Wall, who is a classification beneath them in 3A Division 2, but they're the number 2 team in the state. So it's like, man, Sweetwater's resume is tough. Clyde, on the other hand, 6-1. I didn't really feel like they had played anybody. Yeah. But this kind of answered the question of, man, Clyde actually is a 7-1 team that deserves to be 7-1.
Yeah, it is. Clyde's legit. I think Clyde's legit, especially their defense, I think gives them an opportunity in pretty much every game. You know, Stepp mentioned that Cisco's win over Hawley, a gutty win. They're going to be now, there's 2 ways that District 4 2A Division 1 is going to go. And it's all going to come down next week when Cisco plays Anson. Cisco's either going to beat Anson, and they're going to be the clear number 1. Hawley's probably finishing second, and it'll probably flow from there. Or Anson beats Cisco, which they absolutely can. It's a good Tigers team. Anson beats Cisco, and we throw it in the wood chipper. Like, it's either going to be clean or it's going to be so messy it's beyond repair.
Well, and Stanford's also there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't forget Holly still has to play Stanford.
Yeah. There's a lot to decide there. And then you mentioned it, Stephenville gets a really nice win over Lampasas. We're probably not talking enough about how good Stephenville is.
Yeah.
This is a team now that moves to 8-0 on the year. The Dave Campbell's Texas Football Computer has them as the number 1 ranked team in 4A Division I. They are going to be a problem
Their
the rest of the way.
defense is insane.
Yeah.
Not to
Hudson
mention,
Butchie.
but for at least coming into this game, they had only thrown 1 interception on the year. They had not fumbled the ball at all.
Yeah, they do little things right. They tackle well.
They're a well-coached ball club.
They take care of the football. They do all those little things well that make you a champion. Let's go now out to Tom Green County. One of the games we had our eye on tonight was a matchup of unbeatens in the 6-man ranks. One of the biggest 6-man games of the year as the Water Valley Wildcats welcomed in the unbeaten Robert Lee Steers, and Water Valley remains unbeaten with a really impressive 67-30 win over Robert Lee to move to 8-0 on the year and take command of District 8, 1A Division I. And we're pleased to be joined on the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Hotline by the head coach of those undefeated Water Valley Wildcats. We're joined by Coach Trey Cisco. Coach, we so appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win. I'm always interested in a big-time showdown like this where we know that these guys are paying attention to what people are talking about in town. What was your message to your guys heading into this matchup of two teams that have legit state championship aspirations?
Really, we just talked about being disciplined and doing what we worked on all week as far as the game plan goes, and then executing once we got out there on the field. Kind of with a weather delay, we had an hour and 15-minute wait before we could start the game. And so, just staying focused and doing the job that we worked on all week.
Coach, I know you know this better than anyone, but you've got a really stinking good defense. Man, that unit just operates. Not only, coming into the night, they were the number 1 scoring defense in all of 1A Division I. What makes that such a special unit for your ball club?
It's unbelievable having kids like we do. Having the athletes that we can put in positions to be successful. My coaching staff does a great job helping me with the defense, and just how hard these guys have worked since August has been unbelievable. They put the time in over the summer. They come into August and they're ready to go, and they've been working for this the entire season.
Coach, one guy in particular I want to ask you about is Boston Weiss. This is a guy who's been such a two-way star for you guys and a guy who's really kind of helped to elevate this program. What is it? We hear a lot about 6-man superstars, guys who play both ways, guys who make an impact all over the field. What is it about Boston Weiss that makes him special?
I tell you what, he has a nose for the football. He's one of the best linebackers I've ever coached, and I've had the opportunity to coach several good ones. But he reads it, and he has a nose for the ball. And when he gets there, he's a great tackler. He studies, the game plan, and he knows what we're doing, and he gets everybody in the spot where they need to be. Without him, he's the team leader on defense, that's for sure.
Well, and Coach, I know your goal is not to be 8-0 and to pack up shop and say, hey, good season. How do you get your guys refocused for the remainder of the regular season, taking on Erie and County next week, and then heading into the playoffs where we know Region 2 is going to be really perilous?
Man, we take it 1 week at a time. We do. People say that all the time, and I know coaches always say that when they're talking about it, but that's our focus every week. We don't let the kids look ahead. I'm sure they do a little bit. They've been looking forward to this one for a long time, but, probably since last year. But the focus is 1 week at a time and take care of business that week, and then we'll go to the next week and prepare for that one.
He's Trey Cisco. He's the head coach of the 8-0 Water Valley Wildcats. Coach, we so appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win. Go enjoy it, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There he goes, Trey Cisco. A really impressive win, and you mentioned it. 6-man football, we always talk, points galore. It's basketball on turf, right?
Defense.
Water Valley's that's the best defense in 6-man football, in my opinion.
Before tonight, they gave up 30 points tonight. They had they They gave up 20 against Rankin, a good Rankin squad.
Team.
And then Panther Creek, 6 points. Hermley, 8 points. I mean, it has been incredible what they've been able to do this year.
They have been absolutely fantastic.
And also, he had a cowboy hat, party beads, and a Hawaiian lei behind him. Of Water Valley by a million.
Yeah, Dudes rock, absolutely. Let's go to the score zone. Check out some other 6-man action from across the state of Texas. Booker gets a 58-12 win over Boys Ranch. Those are two programs that used to play 11-man football that have now play 6-man ball, but Booker gets the win over Boys Ranch. Miami takes down Follett tonight, 78-33. It was Balmorhea. Very quietly undefeated Balmorhea. They are rolling right now. Now 8-0 on the year after a 44-8 win over 6-1 Grand Falls Royalty. Coach Abel Garcia doing fantastic work out there. And it was Oakwood. Remember Oakwood played the state championship game last year? They get a win over Mount Calm, 74-40. A couple other games on Saturday. Zephyr taking on Blanket in a game I'm going to be keeping my eye on. It's a good Blanket team. And Medina and Eden will do battle on Saturday as well.
So there you go. 6-man scores across the state, and we appreciate Water Valley coach joining us. All right. When we come back, we've got a ton more highlights. Mid-County Madness, Lake Travis, the Battle of the Lakes. I mean, it is rivalry week here, and we will be back after the break.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antone. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texan Lives Athlete of the Month, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, shines a spotlight on one outstanding female and one exceptional male athlete each month who exemplify excellence on and off the field. This prestigious recognition celebrates student athletes who demonstrate remarkable athletic performance, unwavering dedication to their teams, and a commitment to their communities. To nominate your student athlete, scan the QR code on screen or visit texasfootball.com/athlete of the month. With support from Dick's Sporting Goods, we are proud to honor these young leaders who inspire their peers and represent the best of Texas high school sports.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
Back in to Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, the Friday night after party, and a place that likes to party. How about we go out to the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight? We've got a lot of names. Score Zone, and take a look at the Golden Triangle and scores around there. How about that? West Orange Star, Kiowa Hickman able to get it done 33-30 over Silsby. LCM, Little Cypress Mauriceville, 24-16 over Bridge City in a big battle there. Beaumont United taking down Beaumont Westbrook 35-28.
Let me tell you,
you were excited about that one.
I think that's a real stunner.
It is. Absolutely it is.
In Beaumont ISD. Now, of course, that's I'd hate to say an old rivalry because United is a relatively young program, but this was a United team that I think is really on the rise there. Coach Drenard Williams in his first year there with the Timberwolves. That is a signature win. And suddenly, Beaumont Westbrook has lost 2 in a row. They are now 1-3 in district play. And they've still, by the way, got to take on Barbers Hill at the end of the year. This is that District 9-5A Division I, just really got turned upside down with that result.
Then you go and you see West Sabine taking down Evadale 56-27. Lumberton, a big 45-20 win over Hardin Jefferson. And then East Chambers able to squeak out an insanely high-scoring game, 58-52 over Kirbyville. And you'll notice 2 of those games out of District 10 4A Division I there in the Bridge City, Little Cypress Mauriceville, and the Hardin Jefferson one. So that's Bridge City's first loss of the year.
Yep.
They were trying to go for 8-0 and potentially having to play Hardin-Jefferson next week for a district championship, and LCM comes in and just completely destroys that whole entire plan for them.
Let me tell you something. East Chambers, that win over Kirbyville, it may not have been pretty, but that's a really important win. They now go into their regular season finale next week, and they take on Orangefield for the district championship in a lot of ways. Although Hardin, Hardin's going to win the district championship, I'm sorry, but for second place in District 10-3A Division 2, that is a massive, massive result there to get, or 10-3A Division 1. Let me get it right, Greg. There a ton going on there in 10-3A Division 1. And that win for East Chambers over Kirbyville is really critical for their playoff seeding.
It absolutely is. So there you go. There's some scores from the Golden Triangle. How about we go to arguably the most noticeable household name of a Golden Triangle rivalry, and it is Mid-County Madness. It's P&G taking on Nederland. In the first quarter, Port Neches Groves gets us started early and goes straight for a trick play as Connor Bailey takes the snap and passes it off to Tyson Henry. That puts them up 7-0. Then Henry again with the ball, going to take it up the left side and walk into the end zone, up 14-0. Nederland claps back, and senior Slade Shepard slings it right into senior Tate Stroker's hand. The score now 14-7. Still in the second quarter, Tyson Henry gets a hold of the football again, and this man just cannot be stopped. He takes it 59 yards up the gut to extend the lead 21-7. To the second half we go. Nederland managed to put 3 more on the board, but soon after, they're going to fumble the ball. It is fumbled and led to a Port Neches recovery there on the 14. Then Tyson Henry gets the ball, shocker, and he goes in for his third touchdown of the night, 28-10. In the fourth quarter, once again, Tyson Henry, got to be the MVP of this game, put it on his back, and they go on to win it 49-17.
And let's go to the Austin area. Speaking of rivalry games, Lake Travis and Westlake. Hey, Drew Brees in the house. Getting his jersey retired and firing up the Westlake faithful ahead of that big game. Not much happening in the first quarter. In the second quarter here, star running back Van Hopping up the middle for the score. That makes it 7-0 Lake Travis. Not long after, Hopping is going to decide to show off his receiving skills. He's going to take it in 18 yards to the house. It's 13-0 after a missed extra point. Westlake would have an answer. 43 seconds left in the half. Reese Wise finds Braden Riddell in the flat, gets into the end zone, makes it 13-7 at the break. Van Hopping would go down with injury and not return, but early on the second half, Luke McBride would find his sea legs, finding Weston Smith on the dime there. Extends the lead to 20-7. After Westlake managed to tack on 3 more, it's McBride and Smith again for 6. In for the score, and instead of kicking for 1, they decided to go for 2. McBride finds Harrison Colkhorst for 2. It's 28-10 going to the fourth, and then Lake Travis's defense would stand tall. Their 10th sack of Reese Wise puts an exclamation point on it. Lake Travis beats rival Westlake for the first time in 7 tries, 31-10.
We take a look at more Austin scores from around the area. East Bernard, a big 42-21 win over Wallace Brazos. Austin Vandergrift, in an absolute thriller, was able to squeak this one out 44-34 over Hutto in a massive district matchup. Lake Belton taking the loss there to Cedar Park, both of them in the same district there, both those games, 49-21. Jarrell with a massive 43-29 win over Salado. So Jarrell, a team that just keeps cranking them out.
Well, it's a nice bounce back win. Remember, they got Wimberley last week.
Yes.
They lost 35-34 to Wimberley, their first loss of the year. Bouncing back with a nice win over a good Salado team there at home.
Cibolo still able to get it done against the Rattlers of San Marcos, 27-21. And then finally, how about that? Austin Anderson continuing to be and just roll down there, 29-14 over Buda Hayes.
I want to take a look real quick at District 12 5A Division 1 because I want to make sure I understand this. Yeah, Austin Anderson now 7-0 in district play, or rather 6-0 in district play. They are now heading for, it's all going to come down. They play Lockhart next week. I think they're going to beat Lockhart in my humble opinion. The question is going to be what happens in that final week game at Pflugerville Weiss. Now, look, Weiss has no wiggle room here. They play College Station next week, and they close College Station and then home to Austin Anderson. So we will sort out District 12 5A Division 1 throughout the course of the rest of the week.
And you need to, because again, between LaPorte and Angleton being the first 2 seeds in 11 5A Division 1, you don't want to mess with that.
Especially because you've got to go on the road if you finish 3rd or 4th in that district. So those are scores from the greater Austin area. Big doings tonight there in the capital city. Let's now go from the capital city over to the north. the Great North, if you would, the Panhandle. See what's cooking on up there. Shallow Water takes down Bushland tonight, 28-26. It was Canyon West Plains all over Canyon Randall in a huge game in Canyon ISD, 62-13. Abilene just takes it to Amarillo Tascosa tonight, 24-6 in a real taffy pull. It was Stinnett West Texas keeping it rolling, 36-0 winners over Stanford Fritch. Still keeping an eye on those Comanches. Dumas takes down the herd of Hereford tonight, 38-10, and it was Groover all over Vega, 49-6.
Yeah, that's a big win for Abilene. That was kind of a game that we had our eyes on, and we wondered how their defense would handle kind of that daunting flexbone attack there from Tascosa, and clearly they had no problem with it.
Absolutely, as those are some scores from the Panhandle. We're still rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. It is a Friday night party. If you couldn't tell, we're partying. Next week's Halloween.
Yeah, spooky season.
Spooky season. Let us know in the comments what you want us to dress up as. But after the break, we've got a bunch of highlights flowing into the Dave Campbell's Texas Football offices, so we're going to start eating out of the fridge. Stay with us.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antonio. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
The after party is kicking right along when it's time to eat out of the fridge. All right, we just got a mess of highlights here, so buckle up, strap in, let's get to it. We head first down to the Coastal Bend. The Battle of the Bridge was our game of the week down there. The Carroll Tigers and Gregory Portland Wildcats. Wildcats offense drives down the field first, and with some big runs there in the red zone, Carter Dominguez fakes out the defense on the keep and score with ease. Gregory Portland scores and then ends the quarter 7-0. But Carroll offense looking to score it and get on the board. It's Nate Banzan who throws it downfield, but it was intercepted by Tristan Gore. He gets up 5 and Portland would score. Then Portland keeps the good times rolling with another touchdown on their next drive. Carter Dominguez fakes out the defense and into the end zone. Oh, he's going to hit that dance move. Carroll continues to fight on both sides looking for their first score. Jesse Garcia takes it up the gut, makes a man miss to get the first down, but it's not enough as Gregory Portland leads 36-0 at the half, and they were able to just keep putting on the pressure and get it done with huge play after huge play, just like you would see there. They go on to beat Carroll 60-0.
Meanwhile, San Antonio area, Smithson Valley, the defending 5A Division I state champs, taking on the Unicorns of New Braunfels.
Go Corns.
They're Unicorns. Big district matchup at Ranger Stadium. First quarter, Unicorns have the ball. Third offensive snap. Levi Gola is going to throw and pass is picked off. Liam McGee is going to take it all the way back to the 5-yard line. And 2 plays later, Caleb Piegler says, I know what to do with that. It's a 3-yard touchdown, and the Rangers take a 7-0 lead. Later in the first quarter, the Unicorns have the ball back. Brock Stewart's going to take the handoff. Gets hit by Phillip Smith. Fumble! It's a fumble! And who is it but Liam McGee again? His second turnover of the evening, and that would lead to this in the second quarter. Another 3-yard touchdown run from Caleb Piegler, and it's 14-0 Rangers. Ensuing drive from the Unicorns, they get on the board. Gola firing, Lyric Lolly wide open. We'll find Caden Mills for a 57-yard touchdown, cuts it to 14-7. But Smithson Valley would go on to win this one, 27-14, to remain unbeaten on the year. The Rangers keeping on rolling. The defending 5A Division I state champs remain unblemished.
How about we go out east now? way out east at Abe Martin Stadium. It's the Lufkin Panthers hosting the Port Arthur Memorial Titans. Lufkin with a chance to take a first quarter lead, but the fourth down pass from Javian Johnson is picked off by Cremaine Garlington. Both defense showing out in the first half. The Titans booting the field goal through the uprights, take a 3-0 lead in the second. Lufkin back with the ball, and Port Arthur with the interception. Look at the defenses. They just keep doing it. Johnson is picked off again, and this time the Titans not missing the end zone as Houston commit Kavion Roberts catching on the slant right through the uprights. Lufkin couldn't respond before the half. The Titans were up 10-0 heading into the locker room, and Port Arthur would go on to have a stellar performance, 30-0.
Matchup of unbeatens in Central Texas. Chilton taking on Bremond in a top 10 showdown. First quarter, Bremond's threatening, and Tyreek Scott going to take it in for the score. Bremond's up 7-0. Then later in the first half, after a fumble by Chilton, Bremond's got great field position, and it's Tyreek Scott again cashing in for the score. It's 14-0 Bremond. How will Chilton respond? Maneko Thomas Jr., a name to know there. He's going to float it out to Jamarian Clark, who is going to weave his way through traffic. Excuse me, pardon me. I'm sorry. I just need to get there. In for the score. Makes it 14-8, but too much from the Tigers. Tank Scott. He's a running back named Tank. Yep. What do you want from him? 83 yards later, he hits pay dirt. Tigers are up 28-8 at that point. They go on to win it 48-22 to remain unbeaten.
You feel a little bit more full now?
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Good little midnight snack. All right, one final thing to do on the after party. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, and that is to take a look at our Built Ford Tough games to watch next week as we head into Week 10. You've got Brock and Graham, LaPorte and Angleton, Munster Collinsville, Longview North Forney, North Shore CE King, and Corpus Christi Flower Bluff taking on the PSJA North.
Yeah, we finally made it to the
Raiders.
fireworks factory. Like this is it. This is what Millhouse was hoping for, that we were going to get to this point. Brock and Graham is going to be spectacular. LaPorte and Angleton has massive, massive implications, especially I want to check on Angleton's injury situation. There are apparently a couple injuries in the game tonight. Munster and Collinsville is huge up there in the Texoma area. Longview coming off of a really impressive win over Rockwall Heath. Now all they got to do is go and take on a North Forney team that's capable of beating anybody. The District 23 6A title's on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Hands down.
CE King and North Shore next week. And then Flower Bluff and PSJA North. That's that district in 15-5A Division 1 that's got that such the cross-regional thing with the Coastal Bend taking on the Rio Grande Valley. Flower Bluff's got to go too far, I believe it is. Let's make sure of that. I think that's right. He said confidently. Let's see where that game is. I want to make sure I get that right because that feels important because that's about a 4-hour road trip. That game is PSJA North is at home. So they've got to drive all the way to Far to play that game.
It's a far drive.
And PSJA North undefeated 15-5A Division. That is going to be a matchup of unbeaten teams. So that will be a lot of fun.
But this list, the Built Ford Tough games to watch next week are clearly good games. And that doesn't even do it justice. We could make a list with literally probably 100 games that are straight up bangers next week. Like that, it is the fireworks factory in Week 10.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It is going to be a lot of fun there. So that is one thing that we are going to keep an eye on. Do you want to tell people what they can watch this week?
I sure will. This isn't the only program we do here at Dave Campbell's. Let's take a look at other programming that you can look forward to if you like the show. We hope you do. How about you come join us with some of the other ones that we do? On Monday, if you like the two of us talking, we'll be back up here on the same desk talking for Monday Morning Fallout at noon on all of our DCTX channels. Then Mallory Hartley and Greg Powers on the Rising Show. This week in recruiting, that's every Tuesday at noon. And then finally on Wednesday, you can come to any of the channels and watch Tepper's predictions for Week 10.
I got like a couple of them right. So there were 6 matchups of unbeatens this week, okay? And I believe, I believe I got, let's see, I picked Allen to beat Prosper, check. I picked Lone Star to beat Wakeland, check. I picked Rio Hondo to beat Raymondville.
Not check.
I picked Lovelady to beat Mount Enterprise. But I did get Bremond over Chilton, and I did get Water Valley over Rivalry. So I went 4-2 on the match of unbeatens. I'll take that.
You could do better.
I'll take that. But you can see other predictions of mine on Wednesday wherever you stream. This is fun. This has been fun.
Yeah.
We want to one more look at the
Oh my
at the
goodness.
AccuWeather forecast from Dave Campbell's Texas Football Doppler.
It's kind of chill.
This is
What is
courtesy of
that?
Chief Meteorologist Blaine Tatum. You can see there. This is what's going on there. That's what we're going to be driving home through over the course.
Be safe. If you're still getting back from your game, be careful.
Everybody be careful. That's going to do it for us. We do appreciate you spending part of your evening with us. For our producer, Vianney Moreno and Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. We will see you Monday for Texas Football Today. We'll see you next Friday for a Halloween edition of Texas Football Tonight.
Spooky.